inshallah. Thank you.
No, don't worry. Alright, so let's pan. That's what we do. Yeah. Don't disconnect.
So now, the next thing is we're going to have a panel discussion, and we have a special guest, who is a consultant gynecologist and a lecturer at Abubakar University. So you're welcome, ma'am. Then we also have Sister Nora, who's going to be with us at So now our panel discussion is going to be on managing expectations in marriage. Managing expectations in marriage. My name is Rahma Mustafa Goni, and I have with me Professor Hajra Umar and Sister Nora. So now managing expectations in marriage. So we've been talking about marriage. Everyone listens to one or two things about marriage. The normal thing we know these days is that he will meet her, so eventually fall in love, and then they get married. And sometimes it's being portrayed in movies
can this guy come up? Just so I can take Sibu.
Like 7 years to rescue you, and then you live happily ever after. So now we want to know the position of Islam in marriages and what some of the realistic expectations that a person is supposed to see in a potential partner. أعوذ بالله من السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. In terms of the position of marriage in Islam, the verse in Surah Al-Rum that was quoted is a summary of what Allah expects us to have in our marriages, which is A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
How is it?
من أنفسكم أزواجا لتسكنوا إليها وجعل بينكم مودة ورحمة إن في ذلك لآيات لقوم يتفكرون.
Okay, enjoy this. Just only
talked about what the meaning of this verse is. It is talking about the fact that it's a sign from Allah that we are created from ourselves, mates that we can find peace and tranquility in them. It is also a very known hadith that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, "Ana atazawwaju nisa wa man ragiba an sunnati falaysa minni." That he gets married to women, and whoever does not support his sunnah is not of him. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam also said that when one gets married, the person has completed half of his religion. So marriage is sunnah, but once you get married, there are rights and obligations that actually come on the wife and the husband. In terms of the expectations in marriage, most of us get married because we want to complete half of our religion, and you expect that when you are married, you fulfill you have a very loving husband, a very loving wife. A husband will expect that his wife will be somebody that will take care of herself, his property, and is loving and kind, and protect herself and chastity for himself alone. And the wife may expect from the husband that he will feed her, clothe her, take care of her medical expenses, her feeding, and other forms of responsibilities. And for two of them, within the first few years of marriage, they expect to have children, and they expect to have very good mother-in-laws, father-in-laws, friends, relatives, and they don't expect any problem whatsoever. But the reality is different, because once you get married, the beautiful text that the husband is to send to the wife and the wife is to send to the husband suddenly stops. All the sweet words you used to say during the courtship period now disappears. The next thing is that you now discover that this man knows the husband is very untidy. He has a very poor anger management. He's very impatient in very little mistakes that you make. And then sometimes the husband will now discover that maybe life is not even as beautiful as it is. I read a story in the newspaper. It's somewhere in the Middle East. The man actually sued the wife for psychological trauma because he discovered that the day after the wedding, she was not as beautiful as he thought she was. Meanwhile, she was having so much makeup on. So these are things you come to realize. Then again, economically, you know, she said that the husband is responsible for feeding, clothing, and housing, and all your financial obligations. The reality of ground is that once you enter the house, you discover that the man may expect you to start making some financial contributions to the upkeep of the house. In fact, that more than 70% of homes are actually headed by women. They are the ones that make sure the children go to school, pay their school fees, make sure there's food on the table. The man may provide the rice or the beans and the yam, but he expects you to provide the tatase, akarugu, and the meat so that you can have stew to eat the food together. So that's another shocker, because most women expect that the husband is just going to be spending on them and all that. But the reality is that he expects you to contribute financially to the house. Then the other thing you may discover is that maybe he sleeps very late, he doesn't pray Salat al-Fajr on time. You may discover that he drinks or he smokes, he takes some psychoactive drugs. You may discover he has very bad anger management, such that he even maybe a wife abuser. He may start beating you because of very little things that you thought he should have overlooked. So these are some of the realities that we see immediately after marriage.
So the unification of a man and a woman in marriage is the foundation. Okay, so
I'll put this one so that okay.
Okay, so now there are more cases of more marriageable. Yes. So there are more cases of more marriageable women in proportion to men. What do you think we can do to ensure that we prepare our men adequately for marriages?
Yes, thank you very much. And we know our societies are a male-dominated society, and most of the time during marriages, it is the women that are taught to be a good wife, be obedient, be patient, and all that. But the husbands actually are never taught to know the responsibilities they have in marriage. In fact, there was once I heard a story. A young man found a wife and they got married, and they brought the bride to his house. He went quietly to his father and asked, "Daddy, I don't even understand what this marriage is all about. What am I supposed to do? They brought this girl to my house and I don't even know what to expect." So that is one of the deficiencies of our society. We never sit the men down to talk to them what their responsibilities are in the marriage. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said in one of his hadiths that when a young man comes to ask of the hand of your daughter in marriage, if he has a good character, allow that person to get married to your wife. If you don't do that, there will be a lot of fasad on the earth. And again, Rasulullah said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that people get married for so many reasons. For wealth, family background, beauty, but get married to the one that fears Allah, and then you will not regret. And again, he said, young men, when they have the means to get married, they should go into marriage. And if they don't have the means, they should fast. And that applies to both the men and the women. So men and women are advised to fast and protect their chastity. And as soon as they have the means to get married, they should go into marriage. one thing in our society is that there are lots of temptation out there. So as much as possible, instead of you maintaining a girlfriend, buying her the latest iPhone and all that, that amount you are using to buy that latest iPhone can actually be used as sadaqah. And remember, Rasulullah said that the marriage that you spend little has more al-barakah. Now,
so another thing is, we are expecting that parents are the ones who are supposed to guide their kids or their children getting married. So, traditionally, the groom and his friends go and visit the bride's family and greet them. So there was this a young man actually tested
I will tell you the truth if I come over for you. Give me just to consider us now. Powerful baby. I understand. Mike.
Would like to know
She's not honest.
Of children, of parents in the success of failure of their marriage.
You're supposed to eat finish. Where we call the guy?
The role of parents are actually that of an advisory role and a protective role of what is right for the child. What comes and brings a very irresponsible person, and you know that this person is not going to be able to sustain the marriage. Your role is to advise her, guide her, and come to a consensus and make her reason and know that this person is not a good person for you, not forcing her to get married to the people that you want. I remember in the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam when a young woman came to report that her father forced her to marry somebody, and she said she wanted to know whether she had a right or a say in deciding who she gets married to. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam actually gave her the option of leaving that marriage, but she said she just wanted to know whether she had a right, and she actually stayed in the marriage. So parents should be very careful. They should not force their children to marry for selfish reasons, maybe for financial gain or social status. Guide her to choose the best person that is good for her in terms of her religion.
No, you did it.
And two essential ingredients for mercy. Khalif proposed
Rahma.
yes. How true is this? And even if the love dwindles at a point, what advice would you give to couples to rekindle the love in their marriage?
Yes, I'm not very sure if that was a study that was done, but one thing I know is that any relationship has a honeymoon period. And for the marriage, most of the time, the first 2 years of marriage, people now know each other, you know your life, you know your dislikes, you may have had a child, and then after those first 2 years, what next? The thing that can happen next is for you to have another child or something similar. So nothing new is coming up. That is when you really have to be innovative. Because now you have settled down and you know this is the way the man is, these are his habits, his likes, his dislikes. So it is a critical point that you actually have to decide whether you want to continue staying with this man or not. So this is the person I'm going to stay with for the next maybe 30 or 40 years. So at that particular point in time, that hakuri they were telling you during the time of your marriage that hakuri, this is the time you actually need it. Because you have to be patient. This is when you start having conflicts. You now start seeing so many things that may not be what you expect. And remember, both of you are from different backgrounds. Imagine somebody staying with his parents in the first place for 30 years, and usually you are staying with your parents for 20 years, and you suddenly come together in under the same room to live for God knows how long. So it is difficult. So it's a period of adjustment, and it is a time that you really need to be patient and accept him the way he is, and try to overlook his faults and be innovative in terms of rekindling your love.
So there is an expression where people confuse religiosity and righteousness. So literally, religiosity is just like the person praying 5 times, fasting the month of Ramadan, and all that. But that is the spiritual, thing between him and his God. So righteousness, I think, is doing more than that. So what do you think are the attributes of the righteous path?
Yes, that's a good question. In the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم قوامون على النساء بما فضل الله بعضهم على بعض وبما in أموالهم فالصالحات قانتات حافظات للغيب بما حفظ. Allah is saying that men are maintainers of women, and because they are the ones that are spending from what Allah has given them on those women. So the beauty, God telling wives are obedience and guard their chastity and protect what Allah has protected in terms of what the rights and obligations of the husband are. And in the last sermon of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said men care about their duties. He said, "Khairukum khairukum li ahlihi wa ana khairun li ahli." That he is the best. The best of you are those that are best to your wife, and he is the best to his wife. So as much as possible, we are encouraged to be gentle and kind to women, and women too. We are also to be obedient, loving, caring, and also be honest and protect your chastity. It is not right for you to be doing a video call with another man somewhere in your room at 12 midnight. Protect what the husband likes, make sure you do it, and whatever he doesn't like, make sure you don't do it. If you don't want to come into the house, don't allow them to come into the house, and protect yourself and his property. The part of definitely in marriage we need a lot of patience and understanding. And remember the first verse of the Quran we mentioned. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala expects that we should have love and mercy and compassion between each other. That is the whole essence of marriage. So for now we're going to round up, and the take-home messages that I want all of us to take home in terms of staying in marriage and maintaining the marriage. I call them the 3 P's of marriage: patience, perseverance, and prayer. Patience. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, Ya ayyuhallazina amanu ista'inu bis-sabri was-salah, inna Allaha ma'as-sabirin. Allah is with those that are patient. In terms of perseverance, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also said to Imran, Ya ayyuhallazina amanu isbiru was-sabiru Ya ayyuhallazina amanu isbiru was-sabiru that is be patient and excel in your patience, and then fear Allah in your duty, and you will succeed. And then in terms of prayer, remember as Muslim, prayer is the sword of a Muslim. Prayer changes situations. Prayer makes you to be able to accept your destiny, and prayer makes you to stay patiently and accept the word from Allah. And then you know that the marriage itself is a form of ibadah, and every ibadah comes with its own trials. So you'll be able to be patient within that marriage and expect the reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
MashaAllah, thank you very much for honoring us, and inshallah we're going to put into use whatever we have learned. Thank you. It's our mother, Ustadha Maryam. You're welcome.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Samira, And big specialty, we are truly honored. Sister Salatu, the principal, we couldn't miss this for the world. I should sit. Okay. We wouldn't miss this. This is a special day, and we are happy and delighted to be here. I think the mic is giving problems. I feel like jumping the mic, talking loud. I should try. All right. Well, Samira, I know right now you are so in love, you may not remember what I'm going to say today, but I pray you play back the video and hopefully apply some of the few things I've learned in the few years I've been married. The first is, of course, that you've heard over and over again, that it's not compulsory to get married. However, once you decide to get married, it is compulsory on you to fulfill your rights to one another. Fulfilling your rights is what makes it half of your ibadah, not just today getting married. And it's important you always remind each other about your obligations and your rights, and then live it. Do not allow yourself to offend Allah because you didn't fulfill your rights to one another. Now, the first months are critical to the success of your marriage. This is where you start to create a healthy culture for your relationship. Plant seeds early on, seeds of mutual respect, seeds of open communication, seeds of no secrets, and seeds of trust. Seeds of no secrets, seeds of trust. Learn each other's love language. This is so important. Always be humble. Humility is so important in a relationship. Be humble and be open to feedback. You are not perfect and neither is he. So make sure you're open to learning what your spouse sees in you that they don't like so that you can adjust and continue to improve upon it. Now, conflict is inevitable in any relationship. So discuss how you will resolve your differences. That is going to be very important. And discuss the how, because marriages don't break up because of what you fight about, it breaks up because of how you fight. So always maintain good adab, good conduct when you talk to each other, especially when you are upset. And then set boundaries early on, especially with family and with friends. Don't allow those who should not get involved or have a stake in your relationship start to involve themselves in things that don't concern them. Now, there needs to be certain things that you prioritize. The first, as you both know, being former students of New Horizons College, that Allah first in everything you do. Hold on tight to Allah's rope and make sure He always features in your thoughts and in your interactions with yourself and with one another. After Allah, it should be you, yourself. Take care of yourself, your mental health, that you're growing and developing. Because if you're in order, it's much easier to give the best of you to your spouse and to your family. Then make sure you know that you prioritize your spouse. After Allah, after you, then comes your spouse. If you and your spouse are in order, your children will get the best of both of you. Then prioritize your loved ones and important people in your life. Don't ever compare, like Ustaz Abubakar said, don't compare your relationship or your spouse to anyone else. Social media has become such an important feature in our lives today, but be careful and set boundaries with social media. Don't let it overtake anything that matters most to you. Use it more for mutual growth than for watching how others are living their lives. But never ever stop working on your relationship. Never stop working on your marriage. And then never forget who you fell in love with. That person will always be there even if you are upset. So make sure you don't lose them. Never forget the endearing qualities of your spouse. Try and do things together as much as you can. Grow together. Share interests together. Do not grow apart and do not let anyone else take over the role you are meant to play to one another. And always have a mindset that I'm in this for life. If you think long term and leaving is not an option, it gives you the ability to be more patient to see the results of your efforts. Be each other's cheerleaders, always support, encourage, and be their backbone. And then finally, treat your marriage like a thriving garden. Put a fence around it and guard it jealously. Make sure you nurture it. You add nutrients, fertilizer, water, sunlight, and everything that makes a garden flourish. Plant seeds. Never stop planting seeds in your relationship, and always make sure you remove weeds that might contaminate your relationship. Remove weeds, especially your own bad habits. Inshallah, you will see the fruits and see the beautiful flowers that will flourish from the efforts you put in. So Najib and Samira, may Allah bless this day. May Allah bless your union. May Allah bless your parents, your loved ones, all those who have come from near and far to witness this occasion. Jazakumullahu khairan for inviting us. Today is one of the happiest days that we see two of our former students coming together and being united in marriage. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you very much for this wonderful remark. Jazakumullah. The next thing is advice for the bride by Her Excellency Aminu. Welcome, ma.
Where's the second mic?
Except to say, I want to pray for the couple. Wish them.
You put it in record, yeah.
In addition to what the speakers have said, I would like to add that there are two more important things that I'm making their attention to, that I would stress the need for communication with each other.
The need for communication with each other and always assuming the best of each other. I think once you put those two together, you'll be able to navigate misunderstanding or misconceptions you might have had about the situation, and you deal with it immediately, and then things will go smoothly. That is what I would like to add, and like all the other speakers have said, patience and holding on to Allah. Congratulations. We thank everybody that has come to facilitate with the family. I pray that everybody goes home to their respective homes safely. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
For this wonderful advice. Jazakumullahu khair. So now the next thing is final remark, which is the closing remark and dua by Hajia Halima Bawa. You're welcome, ma.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Well, I first of all thank Allah that the microphone decided to work when I'm speaking and didn't work properly when the First Lady was speaking. So I guess there's something about being a Buhari with that being said, I'm told to come and give closing remarks. There are so many very qualified people here to do that, but I'm honored and I thank you. I'm honored and thankful for being able to stand here today on the very joyous moment of my daughter's wedding. I'm very privileged and thankful to Allah for this opportunity, because my father, with the 10 plus children that he had and the love he had for each and every one of us, did not witness this day that I witnessed for Samira's wedding. So it's a privilege to be able to live long enough and be well enough to witness the day that my daughter gets married. And that being said, we thank Allah and we thank you all for coming here. Sister Mariam is on her way running out. We thank you for coming and representing, and thank Brother Nuru for us. He sent me a text of his apology and his slight mix-up due to his old age, which he is admitting now. We thank him too, and it's okay for last year. And the First Lady, it's good to meet up with you again. The last time we met, we were trying to tie campus on you at that point in time. But I think at this rate, the campus time will be the other way around, and I don't mind. To the in-laws who have gone to get ready, we thank you and we welcome you to the Buhari family. We give you our daughter very wholeheartedly, but we are sad, as you know. We don't have a lot of females in my family, so we are giving you an endangered species. So, but we still take the Najib that you have given us, we will add him to the many men that we have. Alhamdulillah. To each and everyone that is here, we thank you. To those who could not make it, we thank you for your understanding and thank you for your prayers. What else can I say than to ask Allah to bless this marriage, to give them the best in this world and in the hereafter. To everyone else, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah bless each and every one of you and take you back home safe and sound. Amen.
Thank you very much. Jazakumullahu khair. So we've come to the end of this program. And thank you all for coming. Jazakumullahu khair. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdik. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta. Astaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.
Thank you. Even though it doesn't serve you guys the way you expected, but
it serves. It's the way they are positioning it.
Yes, the
wave is coming from this side. Whenever you back anything coming from it, just like an aircraft, if you want to land, you land against the
move. Okay now. Malam, let's go there. Me, I'll finish I'll off camera. Shall we? No, the camera will go. You mean this one? No, be our own, be this one, sir. It's our own, the two. And they will come for it.
Stop this.
Kuachia mimi angejua wapi sanitizer kila mtu